And a very good evening to you. You're watching the News Hour special edition. I'm Pratibha Chandran. Thank you for joining us this Sunday evening. Well, viewers, the world watched in shock as the United States launched a symbolic strike in Venezuela, a full-scale, premeditated regime change operation. Planned, rehearsed and executed with the most convenient excuse, narco-terrorism, and that Maduro should not be at the helm in Venezuela. The assault from the first landing to the extraction lasted for less than 30 minutes. And in these 30 minutes, the U.S. had achieved what it had intended, a regime change in Venezuela. But in this horror, the world has been reduced to just a mute spectator. Most countries have been reduced to just spectators in this theater. And that brings us to the India question. Is it a wake-up call for the ecosystem that stands with the Samvidhan in their hand and calls for intervention from the West? This is what intervention actually looks like. When Rahul Gandhi claims that the Indian democracy is a global problem and he claims that the world isn't doing enough, this should come as a wake-up call for him, because the opposition is falling for the same playbook, whether willingly or whether it is being a pawn in the hands of the global forces. Sample this. The Congress leader, Surendra Rajput, is drawing parallels between Venezuela and India. He said, and his tweet is on your screens, that Venezuela was ruined by the EVMs, that the Election Commission and the biased media's vote rigging is what led to this situation in Venezuela. He said that this is the story of vote chori. Now, this Congress leader went on to say that Maduro, the president of Venezuela, was a vote chore, and since 2018 there was a vote chore, Gaddi chore movement that had been ongoing against him, and his victory in the 2024 elections proved to be the final nail in the coffin. And then he says a similar condition prevails in a country in the world right now. Which country is he talking about? And that is what the opposition is saying time and again, with the question being, when the opposition speaks about intervention, is this what they're dreaming about?
It is a blatant act of aggression, attack on a sovereign nation. और इसको अगर हम ये ना कह पाए, इसका मतलब हमने अपनी मान्यताएं, अपनी विरासत बिसरा दी है। चिंता का सबब ये है कि साल के शुरुआती दिनों में और बहाना क्या दिया जा रहा है, ड्रग कार्टेल नेटवर्क, ये सब की सब एक दिन की स्क्रूटनी में नहीं ठहर पाएंगे। मूलतः अब वेनेजुएला के तेल पर नजर है, वहां के संसाधनों पे नजर है, प्रिटेक्स्ट आप कुछ भी तलाशें, इतिहास आपको माफ नहीं करेगा।
It is quite shocking and painful that a naked aggression has been unleashed by United States of America. Venezuela, a friendly country of India, a member of the non-aligned movement, as well as the Solar Alliance. We demand the government of India to take an open stand in solidarity with a fellow non-aligned country, Venezuela.
कांग्रेस की एक ही पहचान, भारत को करो बदनाम। आईएनसी नहीं, ये एएनसी, एंटी नेशनल कांग्रेस है। कांग्रेस कोई मौका नहीं छोड़ती जिसमें कि भारत की तुलना कभी बांग्लादेश से, कभी श्रीलंका से, कभी नेपाल से, अब तो वेनेजुएला से करने लगी है। कांग्रेस के लोग पहले तो दुआ मांगते थे कि बांग्लादेश जैसी हिंसा हो जाए, या श्रीलंका में जैसी हिंसा हुई वैसी हिंसा हो जाए भारत में, नेपाल जैसी हिंसा हो जाए, सड़कों पर लोग आ जाए। इसी को कहते हैं भारत बदनामी ब्रिगेड।
Joining us on the broadcast, Sushil Pandit, activist, Yash Chaudhary, political analyst, Professor Akhil Swami, political analyst, Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, and IP Singh, national spokesperson of the SP. And I want to begin with Mr. Sushil Pandit on why this is extremely dangerous, because we've seen this time and again, we've debated it endless times on the opposition time and again calling for an intervention. They have spoken about the same. Rahul Gandhi has mentioned it in multiple countries. He says it time and again, and each time the opposition comes out to defend him as well. Mr. Sushil Pandit, should this serve as a warning to the ecosystem, what we are seeing unfold in Venezuela?
Yes, of course. This is a clear and present danger for any country which is weak, which is divided within, which has an opposition that seeks such interventions from whoever can help, whether it was Manishankar Iyer seeking such intervention in Pakistan from an ISI kind of coup, or our leader of opposition roaming around, going to Europe, going to America, screaming his guts out, saying Indian democracy is all but finished. So this is one thing. Another is the same opposition ranks beating their breast and saying this is intervention, this is actually collapse of the global order, this is illegal, this is morally unsustainable. They don't know which side to stand on, whether to criticize this or to invite it upon themselves. This is a classic case of hypocrisy. And they have lost their way. They can't seem to pin their hopes on democratic processes becoming popular and seeking a mandate. They are looking for even divine interventions, if not interventions of big powers, to get them into power somehow. This is the precarious state they are in, and we must leave them to their devices. But this incident serves very clear lessons for us. One, this world has no place for the weak. We have to be militarily strong to be deterrent for anyone harboring even an iota of such intentions against us. No amount of moral grandstanding, no amount of mouthing all kinds of platitudes is going to help us. Only and only preparedness, good deterrent military, and a political will to defend ourselves will help us.
Absolutely.
That's very
strong
clear.
Bharat is in the interest of India. A strong and Mazboot Bharat. That is what we're talking about. Professor Akhil Swami, because the opposition has mentioned it time and again, and I just quoted one of the senior Congress leaders as well, who has made this comparison. And look at the kind of words that he has used about Venezuela, going on to say that there was a vote chori, that there was a campaign of vote chor, gaddi chor. What is he hinting at? What is he talking about? And is this what the Congress party is dreaming of when it seeks this intervention from foreign forces?
See, I would agree with Sushil Panditji that the country has to become strong and it has to be united from within. And in BJP rule in last 11 years, we have only seen a propaganda by BJP to divide India within and to make a narrative of Hindu and Muslim and Hindu versus Christians and someone versus backwards and Dalits versus. So all this ecosystem which has been developed by BJP is very dangerous. I am worried. I am really worried that the country has been divided from within, and we were indicating from within for last 11 years that this is a very dangerous trend in which people like Mr. Sushil Pandit is involved and BJP and RSS and Bajrang Dal is involved. Now, I am very careful, and you should be very careful that after the holidays are over, the America has observed the way we have disturbed the Christmas functions of Christians. And the Christians, because if we take an objection when Bangladesh, the Hindus are killed, why we treated Christians in India, which is a very peaceful community in India, why Bajrang Dal and RSS and these type of organizations
the violence is absolutely wrong. The BJP has also called it out, but you spoke about feeling very scared. I want to ask you, you spoke about the divide as well. What is Mr. Surendra Rajput talking about when he speaks about Venezuela and says vote chor, gaddi chor has been going on in Venezuela as well?
See, vote chor, gaddi chor is a right slogan because, see, Rahul Gandhi has given all the proofs and evidences, and the Election Commission doesn't behave. The Election Commission talks to Abhishek Banerjee as if he is a servant of Election Commission. Election Commission is behaving as if Election Commission is a associate of BJP. So, and in all Western world, all the tech-savvy countries, they know where this type of activity takes place and EVMs voting by EVM is done.
So are you
So when
saying that the situation is similar in India? That's my question. When Surendra Rajput says that in Venezuela as well, there was a similar campaign that was taking place. Are you actually comparing India to Venezuela? Mr. Vivek Srivastava, are you in agreement to this?
Give me 5 seconds.
Okay, very quickly. Yes.
Now listen to me.
Ankita Arya, the way Ankita Arya was killed by BJP leaders for a favor which she did not agree to give. And
Professor Akhil, I'm asking you for Surendra Rajput saying that vote chor, gaddi chor was taking place in Venezuela. Is he comparing Venezuela to the situation in the country? Because we're just joining the dots here. On one hand, Surendra Rajput says that Venezuela is similar to the situation in India. On the other hand, you have Rahul Gandhi who's calling for an intervention. All right, I'll come back to you in a moment. Vivek Srivastava, are you in agreement of this? This is a senior Congress leader who seems to be making comparisons between India and Venezuela. At this stage, amid a lot of concerns that have already been raised about Rahul Gandhi, other senior leaders of the Congress party, wanting an intervention, going on to claim that democracy is under threat in India.
Yeah, see, there are two sides of this coin that you are mentioning. Side number one, today all the communist parties, there was a big joint left protest at Jantar Mantar against America and its military action on Venezuela, capturing the president, taking him to New York. We protested. We don't like America and the imperialistic policies. It has destroyed Afghanistan. It destroyed Iraq. It attacked Vietnam. There's a long history. But the other side is that, yes, Surendra Rajput is also right. India is also going through a big turmoil. You are encouraging the divisions in the society. People are fighting on the grounds of religion. Christians are attacked, as rightly pointed out by Akhil Swami. If you do not keep the country and the people together, if you do not try to act as a peacemaker, rather if there is state-sponsored division on the basis of religion and you make the people fight, and you say Hindutva and Hindu first, if you say this and you say that the constitution doesn't matter, then obviously you're going the wrong way, and then who's going to make use of you? It is the foreign powers.
So constitution doesn't matter, you are saying that, and when there are Congress leaders who are calling for intervention, and I just want to point out just what happened last week, because when the issue of Omar Khalid came up, you had Zohran Mamdani who had said that he's thinking about him. There were so many from the ecosystem who seemed to be cheering.
I supported Zohran Mamdani. Even today I support him. He is right. You have not given the due justice to Omar Khalid, and that is wrong, and that is how the splits in the society take place. When there is a feeling in the minorities that a particular person is not getting the hearings on time.
Vivek Srivastava ji, what is the charge against Omar Khalid? What have the police officials said in court against Omar Khalid? That he wanted a regime change. So you're protesting against the United States for regime change, but when Zohran Mamdani is giving his support to Omar Khalid, who wanted regime change, you're saying that is unfair.
Yeah, just 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds, I'll be over. I'm
take
very
20,
clear.
but do answer this hypocrisy, because you're against the US, you say regime change, but Omar Khalid wanted regime change. Zohran Mamdani is writing letters and you seem to be cheering it. Yes.
Agreed. So why don't you punish him? Why don't you grant him hearings? Why do you postpone the hearings? 55 times the hearing was postponed because the judge was on medical grounds leave, or he had to go for judicial trainings. 59 times the special public prosecutor was not available. 14 months, there were 12 hearings that were deferred. So this gives a wrong image to the world about us.
How many times
it becomes
did he
a human rights issue, and we get a bad name in the nation. I appeal to the honorable judiciary of this nation, whom I respect, I trust, I believe in, that tomorrow is his hearing.
You trust in the judiciary, that's very nice. And Mr. Sushil Pandit is also pointing out the exact same thing. The former CJI had himself said that the delay has been caused by Omar Khalid himself.
Agreed. But then if India is attacked by the United States and they try to topple the government here, the left stands for this nation. And we will stand with the ruling party and the ruling government. This is our government.
So if you stand for the nation, then why are you cheering Zohran Mamdani writing to Omar Khalid? Omar Khalid, who wanted a regime change according to the police officials. Mr. Vivek Srivastava, if you are against the United States, you are against regime change, why are you supporting Zohran Mamdani writing this letter to Omar Khalid when Omar Khalid wanted a regime change in the country?
I want the regime to change, but by the due process of the constitution and elections. Let the people realize this government is
Is
useless.
that what Omar Khalid was doing, according to the police
It has no
officials?
business.
Mr. Yash Chaudhary,
Let
yes,
the
come
judges
in.
decide. But for God's sake, let them give a verdict. Let them give a verdict.
What I can clearly state, let me speak.
Yes.
You know what? Let me speak. What I can make out of the arguments they've been making, they're just trying to incite fear, anarchy through what is happening in international geopolitics. India has stated its ground very clearly. It has gone how India has always gone with its international stand with sovereignty. India is not working under anybody's pressure. India has always shown that its geopolitics is sovereign and not work under pressure of any country, be it Ukraine or Russia war, buying Russian oil, or whether it was buying S-400 missiles from Russia when US were trying to impose sanctions on us. So if you want to talk in terms of India's foreign policies, I have to say to my fellow guests here that you are talking about foreign policy in the country, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to incite fear and anarchy in the country, and what you sound like is a toolkit someone from people like Soros.
Israel and America.
I have to say, like, our leader of opposition have gone. Our leader of opposition have gone inside. Let me speak. I was listening for a very long time. Let me speak now. Our leader of opposition
I just want to quote Rahul Gandhi.
Outside and what
Rahul Gandhi had said, and he has said it multiple times. I'm just quoting one of the times he said it. He said that the democracy is India is a global problem. He said defenders of democracy, which are the United States and the European countries, seem to be oblivious of what's happening in India. These are Rahul Gandhi's words. He said defenders of democracy, which are United States and European countries, seem to be oblivious. What is he talking about?
Context. He said it in a different context.
What is the context?
He did not ask for American military intervention into this nation.
So how does it start? Mr. Vivek Srivastava, the first step of the United States was not this military conflict.
Your business ties with this party are not good.
Okay, I want to bring in Mr. IP Singh as well of the Samajwadi Party. And IP Singh ji, आप राहुल गांधी को टूरिस्ट तो कह चुके हैं कि वो पॉलिटिक्स को सीरियसली नहीं लेते हैं. आपने उनकी बुराई की है जब वो when he goes out of the country, he has spoken against India as well. But apart from that, from the Samajwadi Party as well, Ravidas Mehrotra जी जब वो कहते हैं कि सिचुएशन बांग्लादेश और नेपाल जैसा हो गया है इंडिया में, what does he mean? And अब आपने देख लिया कि वेनेजुएला में क्या हुआ है. Now will the Samajwadi Party take action against those who were dreaming about this youth action against the government?
देखिए, जेन जी को लेकर जिस तरह से भारत में महंगाई बढ़ी है, 2014 से आज कंपेयर करते तो ऑलमोस्ट डबल हो गई. बेरोजगारी दर 52 इयर्स में हाईएस्ट है, और जिस तरह से हर घर में बेरोजगार हमारी बहन बेटियां और युवा बैठा हुआ है, ये सब चिंता का विषय है. एक्सपोर्ट हमारा बहुत तेजी से डाउन हुआ है, इंपोर्ट बढ़ता जा रहा है, तो हालात खराब है. लेकिन मैं 1975 की बात बताना चाहता हूं, जब देश में इमरजेंसी लगी हुई थी और उस समय जयप्रकाश नारायण जी लीडर बनकर उभरे, तो एक नारा दिया गया था, जयप्रकाश का बिगुल बजा है, जाग उठी तरुणाई है. तो सवाल है कि युवाओं को लेकर, मैं तो छात्र राजनीति से आया हुआ इंसान हूं और लखनऊ विश्वविद्यालय छात्र संघ का मैं पदाधिकारी रहा, तो युवाओं को लेकर हम आज भी बात करते हैं. जितने भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं, सबके युवाओं की अपना फ्रंटल है. एनएसयूआई कांग्रेस में है, बीजेपी का युवा मोर्चा और विद्यार्थी परिषद उनके साथ काम करती है. तो सवाल यह है कि अगर इस तरह की बात आती है तो कहीं न कहीं इस तरह की परिस्थितियां, लेकिन वेनेजुएला से हम उसकी कंपेयर नहीं कर सकते. जिस तरह से वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर चेंज हो रहा है, जिस तरह से डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने एक देश की सोवरेनिटी के खिलाफ काम किया, मैं समझता हूं कि दुनिया को सोचने की जरूरत है, एकजुट होने की जरूरत है, और मुंहतोड़ जवाब अमेरिका को देना चाहिए. कोई सेंटिमेंट्स अमेरिका के साथ नहीं होना चाहिए. जिस अमेरिका ने 50% से ज्यादा हमारे देश के ऊपर टैरिफ लगाया, जिस तरह से अमेरिका पाकिस्तान के साथ खड़ा हुआ, जिस तरह से हमारे इंटरनल मामलों में अमेरिका ने दखलंदाजी करी है, और जिस ममदानी की बात हो रही, इससे पहले क्या न्यूयॉर्क का कौन मेयर था, आप कोई जानता है क्या? क्यों हम उनकी बात करते हैं? उनसे हमारे सेंटिमेंट्स क्या, अमेरिकन कानून को क्या हम मानते हैं क्या, या अमेरिका हमारे कानून को मानता है क्या? क्या कोई मेयर हमारे
आईपी
चिट्ठी
सिंह जी, जब आपके
अमेरिकन
समाजवादी
गवर्नमेंट को
पार्टी
लिखते
के
तो क्या
लीडर
उस पर
कहते हैं कि यंग पीपल आर डिस्ट्रेस्ड, दे आर फीलिंग बिट्रेड, दे मे बी फोर्स्ड टू टेक टू द स्ट्रीट्स, जब वो ऐसी बातें करते हैं, जब राहुल गांधी कहते हैं कि इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी इज अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, ये सब में आप क्या कहेंगे? जब आप कह रहे हैं कि जो यूएस ने किया है वेनेजुएला पे वो गलत है, when there are leaders who are wishing for such a situation in the country, उनको क्या कहेंगे?
हमारे प्रधानमंत्री, मैंने मांग करी है, मेरे ट्वीट को आपको चर्चा करना चाहिए। मैंने कहा कि हमारे देश के जो प्रधानमंत्री हैं, हमारी जो राष्ट्रपति हैं, उनकी सुरक्षा बढ़ाई जानी चाहिए। बताइए, इतनी बड़ी सेना थी, F-16 जैसे विमान और तमाम तैयारियों के बावजूद एक चुने हुए राष्ट्रपति को अपराधी की तरह उठा के ले जाना, भारत के अंदर अपराधियों की तरह भारतीय नागरिकों को हमारी भूमि पर लाके छोड़ना, उन्हें बेड़ियां पहनाना, हथकड़ियां पहनाना,
तो क्या आप सुरेंद्र राजपूत जो कांग्रेस के नेता हैं उनको कहेंगे कि ये गलत है? उन्होंने कहा है कि वेनेजुएला में वोट चोरी चल रहा था, वो ये कह रहे हैं कि वोट चोर गद्दी छोड़कर वहां पे कैंपेन चल रहा था कई सालों से।
नहीं, वो तो मैं तो यही कहूंगा कि जो राजनेता हैं, जो प्रवक्ता हैं, उन्हें ठीक से स्टडी करना चाहिए कि वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर किस तरह चेंज हुआ, किस तरह से। अब बताइए, कल ताइवान पर अगर चीन अटैक कर देता है तो अमेरिका किस हैसियत से सवाल उठाएगा? भारत 18 घंटे लगा दिया प्रतिक्रिया देने में। मैं विदेश मंत्रालय को बराबर स्क्रॉल करता रहा, मैं विदेश मंत्री को स्क्रॉल करता रहा, मैं प्रधानमंत्री का इंतजार करता रहा। इतनी बड़ी घटनाएं दुनिया में घट गई और प्रधानमंत्री ने एक शब्द नहीं कहा। उसके बाद हमारे विदेश मंत्री ने कुछ नहीं कहा, टपाक बोलने वाले लोग चुप रहे। जिस तरह से विदेश मंत्रालय को रिएक्ट करना चाहिए कि साहब, दुनिया में अब किसी देश की सोवरेनिटी रही नहीं गई।
Peace and stability in the region, that has been the stand of India. But Sushil Pandit ji, the kind of issues that has been spoken about by the Samajwadi Party as well, by bringing the issues of Berozgari, महंगाई, these are real issues. That is a completely different topic altogether. But the fact is that the opposition seems to be sensing an opportunity whenever there is any mess in another country. Is that the situation we are dealing with?
Yes, you must understand, Pratibha, and I must tell your viewers also, Maduro, the Venezuelan regime, was a discredited and sanctioned regime. Entire European Union had delegitimized him. North America has delegitimized him. Dozens of countries across the world, very serious nations in the Committee of Nations had delegitimized him, not recognized him, sanctioned him. Now, this is a precursor to any attempt for regime change. And this is what our opposition is trying to do, delegitimizing Indian elected government. They are preparing ground for similar such interventions in India. So when they say that intervention is wrong, but Indian regime is illegitimate, you understand what kind of hypocrisy they are practicing.
No.
This is the hypocrisy they practice.
What about the regime of Sheikh
It is
Hasina?
absolute hypocrisy. When they say we should be united, but they keep dividing the society. When they keep doing grievance mongering in the name of minorities, in the name of
So
Dalits.
when you say vote chori, when you say democracy is under threat, when you start raising on election commission, Mr. Vivek Srivastava, so Sushil Pandit saying this is how it starts. When you start delegitimizing the government, when you start saying vote chori, when you start raising questions on elections, when you start raising questions on election commission, that is how it starts. And that's the point that he's making.
I will. It is my democratic right. It is my democratic right. And why doesn't he speak on Sheikh Hasina? He has double standards. You give asylum to Sheikh Hasina in this country.
Mr. Vivek Srivastava, you shouldn't be talking about double standards. The left was protesting against the US intervention in Venezuela. What was the left doing when Hindus were getting lynched in Bangladesh?
Nobody. Listen, it's very clear. Venezuela ko lal salam. Very clear we are with Venezuela. We are anti-America. Entire left and the communist lobby.
So if you're anti-America, then why are you cheering Mamdani's letter?
Sushil Pandit, आपका मुल्क, आपकी सरकार, आपका प्राइम मिनिस्टर उसी रास्ते पे जा रहा है.
It is political.
कोई भी अगर आपसे संरक्षण मांगता है.
So Yash Chaudhary, what the opposition is doing, as Sushil Pandit pointed out, this is how it all starts. That's how it started in Venezuela as well. raising questions on the elections. And Venezuela has a lot of problems. Let's make that clear. It has a lot of problems. There is no doubt about it. The economy was collapsing. The elections were not held fair. But delegitimizing of the government, and this is how the opposition is asking for a change. And that is the reason why it gets into a dangerous territory. Yes, Chaudhary.
See, thank you, Pratibha. Thank you so much for letting me in. I have to state one thing. This is a motu apprentice we have seen throughout the world. Whenever there has to be a regime change done, they will speak about Gen Z coming up, they will speak about democracy going down, and they will speak about economy. If you see everything with political parties, oppositions are trying to undermine India's government's legitimacy. One, what they're trying to say that they're inciting Gen Zs, and second thing, what they're trying to say, that they're saying EVM. So what they're trying to work on a toolkit which is anti-India, and I'm very clearly saying it. They're working on the anti-India toolkit. When I'm listening to people here, and when they're speaking about the country the way they're speaking, I'm very sorry, but they should be shameful of the fact. They should be shameful of the fact that they're calling for anarchy in our country. They're saying that people should come out and topple a government which is chosen by the people, constitutionally chosen by the people. Our prime minister, strong prime minister. You have gone forward, and you have spoken against the judiciary of this country. You've been stating when you were speaking about Umar Khalid, that Umar Khalid,
impeachment motions have been brought in. You have spoken against the Election Commission, Vivek Srivastava. There have been multiple occasions when the opposition has raised questions on EC, on the government, on vote chori. These are allegations that are made by the opposition day in and day out.
To raise questions and to talk. Yeah, why not? I can't question the Election Commission if I feel it is wrong. It's an institution of this nation. And what is the opposition for? What is the opposition for? You want me to be a yes man of Modi? You want everybody to say yes, Modi is great and the government is good and everything is fine.
So we don't want you to say even the US is great, Mr. Vivek Srivastava. Today you're saying you are anti-America. When the United States says that India has a dead economy, there are opposition leaders who are sitting and cheering him. When the United States says that they mediated, you're saying that the government is doing nothing, US has intervened. How does it work? When does US become a hero that decides everything, and when does the left suddenly turn against the US?
Because statement.
No, the left was always against the US.
So then why were you cheering when Trump said the economy is dead? Why were you cheering? Why was the opposition cheering? Why was Rahul Gandhi saying, yes, I agree, Professor Akhil Swami, how does it work? Is it only based on convenience? That suddenly something is acceptable, and then the next day when it's not convenient, then you say, no, I suddenly don't agree with this?
देखिए, मैं एक अध्यापक हूं, एक शिक्षक हूं, और मुझे लगता है कि जितने छात्रों को मैंने आज तक पढ़ाया है, मुझे बड़ा कष्ट होता है और जेनजी को भी बड़ा कष्ट होता है जब वो जय शाह को देखते हैं। एक बार टाइम्स नाउ में जय शाह का इंटरव्यू ले लीजिए, आधे घंटे का, हिंदी और अंग्रेजी दोनों में। कैसे ऐसे लोग जाके आईसीसी जैसे अरबों करोड़ों रुपए की कंपनी के हेड बन के बैठ गए हैं। एक बार टाइम्स नाउ में बुला लीजिए, इंटरव्यू ले लीजिए, और हम तब पूछेंगे हमारे 90% बच्चे जय शाह से ज्यादा इंटेलिजेंट हैं, और ये चीज बच्चों को हर्ट करती है। ये चीज बच्चों को हर्ट करती है, जनजी को हर्ट करती है। जय शाह जैसे लोग करोड़ों अरबों रुपए में खेल रहे हैं, करोड़ों अरबों रुपए में खेल रहे हैं।
ठीक है,
क्या कॉम्पिटेंस है?
प्रोफेसर अखिल स्वामी, I am asking you, if the opposition raises questions, is it delegitimizing the government? That is my question. You are saying that as opposition, it is our right to criticize. There is no doubt about it. It is your right to criticize. I want to ask you, when Mamdani is writing a letter to Omar Khalid, suddenly the Congress party seems to be in support of it. But what is Omar Khalid accused of? Of regime change. How does it work? I just want to understand the hypocrisy around it.
There is no hypocrisy right now. See.
So what is Surendra Rajput talking about when he says that Venezuela mein vote chori hui thi?
Listen to me. Mamdani objects that the Supreme Court of India is not giving the trial and a fair trial. Right. We should have all respect for the Supreme Court.
Okay. On the issue of EVM, on the issue of vote chori, you got a trial?
Let me complete. We should have all faith. We have faith in Supreme Court and High Court. The Supreme Court of Bangladesh has declared Sheikh Hasina as a killer, a mass killer. mass killer has been given asylum in India. Why don't you care for the Bangladeshi courts then? Why are you interfering in the internal matters of Bangladesh? If Zohran Mamdani doesn't have any right to ask a question that why a person, and the people who had ransacked the church and the malls, they have been given bail in 24 hours, and they have spoiled the relations with America and the Christian countries. And you will see the result, because the Christians have been treated so badly.
Okay.
Japanese families have been treated so badly in Varanasi. It is a shame on BJP and RSS and Bajrang Dal.
Sushil Pandit?
I'm really aghast to hear someone who calls himself a shikshak, and then he says Bangladeshi Supreme Court has given a verdict. He knows that there is a kangaroo court kind of proceeding happening. Sheikh Hasina had no chance to defend herself. There was not even an argument. There was not even a case pursued properly. And she was changed through a coup. This was a street violence, a riot that had gone uncontrolled. She wasn't defeated in an election. She wasn't defeated in a court case. She was defeated through sheer violence. She was defeated through the machinations of regime change through the Western powers. This is what Bangladesh went through. And you want us to hand over her to slaughter in Bangladesh?
She should be handed over.
Is that the kind of shikshak you are?
She's a criminal.
उनको दर्द है जय शाह का, बात करते हैं दलितों की, माइनॉरिटीज की, उनको दुख रहा है जय शाह, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम उनके मुंह पे आती है दलित और माइनॉरिटीज. ये हिपोक्रेसी है. उनको भीतर तक दर्द है अरबों खरबों करोड़ों रुपए का, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम उनको आती है आइडियोलॉजिकल हिपोक्रेसी में.
जैसा खेल
कमाल है, कमाल के शिक्षक
ओके. तो आईपी सिंह जी, जब इंडिया ब्लॉक लीडर्स कॉन्स्टेंटली बात करते हैं बांग्लादेश लाइक सिचुएशन, श्रीलंका लाइक सिचुएशन, जो ऐसी बात करते हैं, जब फोर्थ लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी हो जाती है इंडिया, व्हाई डजंट द ऑपोजिशन स्पीक अप?
देखिए, एक बात मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आती है कि जो कट्टरपंथी हैं शेख हसीना को मार देना चाहते हैं. अगर शेख हसीना से जो यूपीए सरकार थी उसके भी अच्छे रिलेशन थे. हमारा दायित्व क्या बनता है? अगर कोई राष्ट्राध्यक्ष हमसे जिससे बेहतर संबंध हो, प्रोफेसर साहब भी बैठे हैं और एक कांग्रेस की भी प्रवक्ता है, मैं उनसे भी पूछना चाहता हूं, अगर वो हमारे देश से संरक्षण मांगती मोदी की जगह अगर मान लीजिए हमारे इंडिया के प्रधानमंत्री, इंडिया गठबंधन के प्रधानमंत्री रहते, शेख हसीना को मार दिए जाने की पूरे चांसेस थे. अगर वो संरक्षण मांगती, जीवन दान मांगती, तो क्या ऐसी परिस्थितियों में क्या उन्हें संरक्षण नहीं दिया जाना चाहिए? दूसरा, जिस तरह के हालात बांग्लादेश में हैं, जिस तरह की वहां की सुप्रीम कोर्ट काम कर रही है वहां के चरमपंथियों के इशारे पर, क्या शेख हसीना पर तो 150 करोड़ जो आबादी है, पक्ष विपक्ष सबको उनके साथ रहना चाहिए. क्योंकि
तो आईपी सिंह जी, आप जो बांग्लादेश की बात कर रहे हैं उसी तरीके से ऑल्सो वांट टू आस्क यू अबाउट वेनेजुएला, क्योंकि अभी जो सिचुएशन है उसमें भी ऑपोजिशन यही कह रही है कि वैसा इंडिया में हो सकता है. जो सुरेंद्र राजपूत जी बात कर रहे हैं वो वैसे सिचुएशन की ही बात कर रहे हैं. तो एज अ सीनियर लीडर ऑफ द इंडिया ब्लॉक, ऑफ द समाजवादी पार्टी, क्या आप अब सलाह देंगे कांग्रेस पार्टी को कि अब बस अगर आप ये करते रहेंगे तो ये हमारे साथ भी हो सकता है, दिस इज अ टाइम फॉर भारत टू बी मजबूत? क्या आप एज अ प्रवक्ता ऑफ द समाजवादी पार्टी कांग्रेस पार्टी को कहेंगे कि वी हैव सीन व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, इट्स टाइम फॉर इंडिया टू बी स्ट्रांग, वी मस्ट स्टॉप दिस?
अब मोदी रेजिम से या गृह मंत्री से हमें ग्रीवांसेस हो सकते हैं, उनके बच्चों से हमें दिक्कत है, उनके जिस तरह के हालात देश में है, लेकिन हम इंटरनेशनल इश्यू पर जिस तरह से पूरा बांग्लादेश जल रहा है, बताइए, इतने बड़े बड़े विद्वानों के घर जला दिए गए, वह हिंदुओं को मारा जा रहा है. शेख हसीना को क्या चाहते हैं, उन्हें फांसी दे दी जाए? क्या उन्हें पीट कर लोग मार डालें?
श्रीवास्तव, आईपी सिंह has taken a stand for, there may be differences, but as a country we must stand together. So would you say the same advice to the Congress party as well? Since you are against US, since you are against a regime change like this, is this the best time to advise the Congress party and the opposition to stop this narrative, to weaken the forces within the country?
No, you have to understand the context in which Surendra Rajput has spoken it, and I agree with it also.
What
देश
is
का हाल
the
तो बुरा है ना, सड़क के ऊपर लोग लड़ रहे हैं ना, हिंदू और मुसलमान एक दूसरे को टॉलरेट नहीं कर रहे हैं ना. So I endorse what Surendra Rajput said. He is not talking of regime change. He is not talking of American intervention. Everybody stands with Modi. If the Americans
तो when he
are
says
against us,
वेनेजुएला
they
में
attack
वोट
us,
चोर गद्दी
anything
छोड़
happens,
जैसे
we stand with the
कैंपेन
government of
चल
India.
रहे थे, ऐसा एक और देश है.
But-
What is he talking about?
अरे बाबा यहाँ पे हो तो वो see. No. What he's talking of is make your country strong. Let the citizens live in love and peace.
So how does it
when
become
Russia was
strong?
communist in USSR, it used to be said that just 10 seconds. The communist Russians used to say in the USSR that the best country in the world is India because it is so diverse, so many castes, so many religions, and they live in peace and harmony, and they are united as the Union of India. And today just see the social media, see the national media, Hindu and Muslim, caste violence. What happens in Gwalior with the Murti of Ambedkar? What is happening in this nation? It is the warning which Surendra Rajput is giving to Modi, and it is the right warning. And Mr. Modi had no business to be towing the line of the Americans, becoming a colony of Israel, saying up ki baar Trump sarkar, selling
Painting the
Indian pride,
country with a
asking the
certain
American
brush
national
because you
government,
want to
"Aapne
see
10
it that
saal
way
mein
because
देश को
that is what
बेचा."
is beneficial for your politics. Is it acceptable at a time like this when India should be strong? I want to end with Mr. Sushil Pandit. We've taken all sides, but Mr. Sushil Pandit, as a conclusion, what would you like to say? Your quick lessons for the ecosystem after what has happened in Venezuela?
Thank you, Pratibha, for this opportunity. Our country faces dissensions. There are left-leaning intellectuals who actually give some kind of intellectual cover to sheer leftist anarchy let loose in this country through Maoism, through Marxist, radical Marxism. ये जो लाल सलाम है, this is दिमाग पर लाल लगाम actually. And he doesn't know which way to go. He wants to criticize America, but would love to have regime changes in the country by delegitimizing your own government, calling it his own democratic right. He would like to destroy our institutions, but at the same time say, no, we are against America. So this is typical, classical hypocrisy. And then you have other civil society groups who would like to sow dissensions, create vote banks, incite Dalits, incite minorities in the name of political consolidation.
Okay.
But at the same time, beat their breast about not winning elections and seeking foreign interventions to dislodge Indian government. So we have to be actually this 0.5 of the 2.5 front war. India has to get strong and sort this 0.5 front within.
Because
These
Mazboot
are
Bharat
the
is
basic
the only
loose
way.
cannons who will actually threaten our stability.
Absolutely. And in fact, now as you spoke of the left on its hypocrisy as well, on one hand, out on the streets against the US action on Venezuela, but absolutely silent on the Hindus in Bangladesh who are continuing to be lynched. With that, we shift our attention to our second debate.